This Meditainment production is brought to you today by the Samurai Aquatics and Decor Metaventure. Scan that QR code or click that link in the description and dive yourself headfirst into the Samurai Aquatics Discord server to pleasure your peepers on our current and future range of outdoor decor.
The Whine and She Show is a Metaverse and NFT discussion and interview series brought to you by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and host Ben68 and More Cheese. Warning: the information and opinions within are solely the views of the individuals involved and contains content not suitable for anyone.
G'day and thanks for listening to or watching the Whine and Cheese in the Metaverses show. I'm Ben68 here with my co-host More Cheese for episode 74, recording on Friday the 3rd of March for Cheese, which is Saturday the 4th for me.
Today we had Dak back on with us to talk to Marius from Avalon Druids, which is a blockchain-based MMORPG, about all the new and amazing stuff that has happened since he was last on the show, which was back in August 6, 2022. Spoiler, it's a lot. We wrapped up with a bit of Upland and a crap load of articles.
Oh, yep. So strap in for an extra long, shitty episode of
the worst show ever.
Whine and cheese. Time for wine and cheese. Wine and cheese. Time for wine and cheese. One is a wanker, one's slinging stunts. One's from Australia, one's from the Bronx. Talking about the Metaverse and NFTs. Interviewing all the real crypto G's.
Hello, welcome to Whine and Cheese in the Metaverses show. I'm here with my co-host Ben68, or should I say my Ben68 co-host. This is episode number 74. It's a private. If you don't watch the show, Dak, you have no idea. I'm here with Marius from Avalon the Druids. I'm here with Dak from Sanguis Draconis in Avalon the Druids, and also in Upland UCC and Upland, the Racing League, and just so much more. He's amazing. They're both amazing. This is going to be a great show, Ben.
Yes, and we're flipping the switch. We've only got Dak for a limited time today, so we're doing the interview part at the front end, and we'll do our spiely nonsense at the back end.
So basically, what I want to do is very creepily ask you, Marius, to pour us a hot cup of Marius. It's been a while since you were last on the show. We talked about Avalon the Druids and how the gold passes were going to start, the Templars, the Druids, all the real cool stuff. What has happened since then? I have some questions for you, but I just want to hear your beautiful voice talk about this amazing game.
August 7th, 2022.
August 7th, 2022. He's been doing his homework. Thank you, Dak.
I have that date memorized.
Wow.
That's when it changed.
Nice.
Wow, it's been so long.
Yeah.
Wow, whose fault is that? Wow, pain.
Maybe yours, because I told you could come on anytime I want. Yeah, right?
So, do you want me to say what happened since then?
Yeah.
That's going to get us all old by the time I finish. But let me go really quickly. So since we spoke last time, we were just preparing, I think, for Alpha. We were just promising everybody a game, promising that we're going to be testing, a lot of promises, like everybody else did in this world. And then a very big surprise happened. We completely folded the project. Oh wait, no, we didn't. We actually delivered. We actually delivered. So we have delivered in early January with small group playing in December. We invited everybody to Little Alpha. They faced with a lot of different issues and blowups and servers going down. The first couple of weeks were quite difficult for people, but they knew what they were signing up for. So The early people were not complaining at anything, and by the time the later people came, the early guys already cut all the weeds out of the forest, and it was all good. So we started with 230 players that purchased passes in between different passes. I think that grew to 300. We had over 150 playing every day until many of them reached their 21 badges. So now I think we are at 70 to 80 a day, consecutive hardcore players, I would say, because they don't need to play anymore. They just play because they like it.
Yeah.
They have all the rewards. There's nothing that really they need to do in a game anymore. They just like to hang out together and do the raids in a circle and help new people. So we delivered in Unreal 4. There's been a couple versions that we went through. I believe, guys, it's been a version every 2 weeks with constant updates, with new NFTs that we drop to people that we never promised. So they get a little bit more. They get their boots. It's crazy. There is a new article we published, and we say you guys killed over 70,000 orcs.
Wow.
Like that's one of the numbers we have, and that's in a small amount of players. Which, when I talk to some studios, they say, "Wait a minute, you have an alpha, and people play 6 hours a day." They cannot, like, the brain doesn't work. They cannot comprehend it, because usually people get bored after 45 minutes. They log out. They go to a different game. So we have a lot of players playing
clickbait games.
Yeah, so we have players, many of them, that play 6 hours a day. We have wonderful guilds like yours guys here.
Adamas,
Adamas and Chiefy. Yeah, they're level 160 and they're going on it.
They're crazy good.
And they know they can't keep it, but they just have a very strong characters and they help people, which is
They're
great.
extremely helpful. They help me. They help everybody in not only the Sanguis Draconis guild, which is Dak and my guild. They help everybody. They're extremely nice and knowledgeable players. And I know you mentioned badges, and I know you mentioned a number of badges. I've been playing on my gold pass with my SD guildies, collecting badges from raiding. I know gold passes are about to expire, and emerald passes will begin in March 6th. Now, I heard, or I know, but I just want to hear you talk about it, that gold passes are going to receive something special, and it has to do with how many badges you have at the end of the gold pass session. Can you talk more about that?
So, like we described in our Medium article, the purpose of gold pass is not only testing and finding the bugs, but participating in the raids and receiving the badge and collecting minimum of 21 badges in order to exchange them for legendary characters, right? So 21 badges equal 1 legendary character.
Wow.
You cannot get more character than 1 per your gold pass to limit the market and don't float it with 100 cheap characters. We limit character per pass. So if you have more than, because a lot of players have 60, 80 badges right now, they play like maniacs. So we just say, well, you have to buy another pass to match it with your badges. How that works, they're going to send the pass and badges to a burn contract, and that contract is going to send them the character of their choice. There is a list of characters that are valuable, but additionally, if, for example, you're going to gain 35 badges and you only want to exchange 21 for the character, the remaining ones we will have a store in the future when you're going to be able to burn them into different swords and weapons in the game, rings and stuff like that. I strongly don't recommend selling them like some of the people do at between $10 to $20, because you're giving up probably way more money in the future.
Exactly.
When they're going to be very valuable in 3-4 years from now.
Well, this is really great news for a hodler like me, who I don't sell anything. I just hold everything. So now all these badges I have, because I have much more than 21, I'm going to hold.
Yeah, well, except for because she's missed a few days, so
she says in a nervous laugh.
So I'm looking on the marketplace and I see these emerald badges that are coming up. So like for under $100, you're telling me that you can get playtime for a good month, rating experience, get to see the game before it comes out, plus if you raid and get at least 21 badges, you get an actual legendary character.
Not for the emerald.
Not for emerald.
Actually, yeah, for emerald you get what, like an epic.
Epic, yeah.
Epic, which is still amazing.
Rare, I think.
Rare.
It's
rare.
Silver is epic.
Silver is epic.
All right. So that's still really good.
But I think it's a great deal for everybody to be earlier. I've been receiving a lot of DMs to keep alpha in between alpha and beta. There's players that would like to stay in. So we're working on a system of maybe doing a subscription between alpha and beta to keep the island alive. We're working on that one. We would like to keep people engaged. Don't let them with nothing for the next 8 or 10 months till we get to beta. So we're considering, and this is first time anybody hears it publicly, we considering subscription model for players that would like to stay in alpha until the beta is launched, month to month, right? And that will also include us, obviously, like we do now, dropping off some fancy NFTs from time to time for them. And they will be testing some systems like the pet system that's coming in alpha before we launch it in beta. So they will have, it's going to be fun. And there's a lot of friends, and there's a lot of friends and good people, and we're going to make it affordable, and we're just covering the costs of tech support and service running and a little bit changes there. We hope certain amount of players are going to stay with us. That was kind of requested by at least, I think, 15 people by now. What can we do to keep it in between, because what the hell are we going to do? Because you're going to shut off everything. So we're thinking on it. We don't say anything, but we're going to see how it's going to end up. We're playing now Silver and Emerald, starting on the 6th, and they ending in April 6th, the full month. They will need to work much harder to get their badges, as they only have, I believe, 30 days to get 21 badges. So they need to focus on playing.
Yeah.
Level 10 is fine to go to the raid. People are always going to support you. A lot of gold members already purchased silver passes, so they're going back jumping for the month. They know that we're going to have a pet system. I think emerald and silver people are in way better situation than the gold ones were, because the game is way more advanced and there's tons of more fun than what it was at the beginning for the gold ones. Right?
They're going to see what we're not going to be able to see. So it's like you want to know what's out there. And like, speaking of that, there's a way to get rare and unique items before this comes out. Tell us about that, the rare and unique items in the game, and give us a vague, because I know you can't tell us too much, give us a vague explanation on how to go about acquiring them.
So when I was building the alpha, I was not really thinking to reward people with NFTs for playtime, but I've noticed that people are really dedicated, and they support not only the financial system of the game, which is the business, but they also support the gameplay by finding bugs and going and exploring far away. Like some people, I'm not going to mention names here, but you know them. They will spend 6 hours in the game just to go to the beach far away. They will die 100 times just to get to that beach and take a screenshot. Yeah. So we were thinking, okay, well, people do that. Let's give them the explorer boots, for example, for finding the secret chests and secret trees and places like that. And these explorer boots really make a difference on your character. For those of you that have them, you're really faster when you wear them, and you are getting less damage when you jump from the cliffs. So we decided to reward explorer boots. We decided to reward people for hardcore grinding. We have werewolf hearts that drop from werewolves, and
I
probably
got a werewolf heart.
Yeah, probably congratulations. And probably the hardest item to get in the game would be the Titan's helmet. They're supposed to be called as Cold Knights, but sometimes I say, well, guys, check on Titans, or something happened and the community changed their name to Titans. So the helmet became a Titan helmet, and they're giants, so let's call them Titans. And they're impossible to kill, even in groups of 2. So you have to go with 4 or 5 people to kill them.
Oh, I've been there for hours.
and that's the rarest thing to have. but it has a very powerful things inside of it. It prevents from any of the bosses to pull you into the circle and damage you.
You
And
can't get knocked down too, right?
Yes, and in the future, in some of the raids, it's going to be pull, push, and you're going to be in the water and dead. And whoever wear the helmets is going to be able to clear up the road for the rest of the team to kill the early bosses. So if I give you something, I already know where that's going to be 2 years from now. So it's one of these things that I think the helmet is worth it, and people have been receiving NFTs and boots have been coming into the game. So a couple of rewards. We did 3 for now that people receive as NFTs, and we also let people to keep their assassin daggers in the inventory. But they're not an NFT, but they're very helpful in the game in general.
Yeah.
Anything that you need to spend a couple hours on grinding, I decided to let you keep it because you really dedicated your lifetime to do it, right?
Yeah, like you were saying, the Titans, it's like I remember being there for hours and hours and either healing or on my Elven Knight, and I love the Elven Knight, by the way. And a lot of the people in the guild have it. I don't have it yet, but it's just fun. Like, it's a fun time. You're there in Discord just talking and joking around, and it's a fun time. It's great. Speaking of guilds and interaction, how will guilds interact with each other down the road? Like, so currently there's no way to see like who's in what faction or team rather. How is that will that change down the road?
So we haven't set up a faction system yet. The faction system is something I'm designing and working on. I want to make it interesting, but I don't want to make it like per se you're in different factions, so you're my enemy. We're going to make it a lot different. We're going to try to guilds to go against AI enemies together, so build alliances. Because they're getting invaded, versus just saying, hey, we better because we have 2 villages and you have 1, or things like that. It's not going to work like that. So currently what we do
look at that.
Currently, we're going to introduce display of the guilds next to your name in the game when you're running around. So we will display your guild, and that will probably help. We are displaying already names of guilds and names of villages on their buildings if they own them. We're waiting for guilds to create their websites, and then we will put your website with a clickable link inside of your business. So if the player comes in, they just click on your guild name and then just go to your website and you introduce your guild. You see what you guys do, where is the meeting, where the guys go. It's a kind of business card. Your business, like your mill, for example, that you guys own, it's your business card in general, right? We will hide the income in beta, so you're going to be the only ones to be able to see the income. We don't want to really public to look into your finance. So let's go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
In-game finance. We just open it up in alpha because there's a lot of new owners and they don't have a trust in the system. We need to be just open and show that they really gather that much, right? So
it was really interesting too, because I think it made it tougher for Danu, and so I really appreciate the transparency that you guys have put in, because obviously, the first businesses to do really well were the mills, and Sanguis Draconis SD. We had bought 2 mills. We were kind of just cranking out AVL and everything. And then other businesses, you guys have been developing those businesses. And again, you set this from the very beginning. This is not a buy and flip kind of game. This is really a game that's developing, and it's going to take, maybe 3-4 years, whatever it might be, right? But the businesses, one of the things I've seen is that you've been very responsive to the business owners. I know we have a business owners channel on the server where we get to talk a little bit about some of the ideas, some of the challenges. So the way you've been kind of adjusting the economic model during alpha, I think has really been good for business owners, not just players.
And I just want to make one quick, so like, I think it's important for the guilds to get along and to have a sort of camaraderie. Like, there's going to be instances where you're going to be in a raid that's in another community's village, right? You're going to be like, oh, I like this guild, I'm going to use their mill, right? Opposed to, oh, I don't really care for this guild, I'm going to wait till I'm back home or in a village that I like the guild, so I can give them the AVL. Like, it's really important to think not only gameplay, but economically.
And community. I mean, I know, Marius, after the first time you guys were on the Wine and Cheese show, you know, you and I, we talked a lot about community, and that's why I actually got involved in building up SD and so forth. And being able to work collaboratively towards goals within the game helps build that community. So I think that's great.
Yeah. Question. So this has been on my mind. All right. And I'm just going to let you know, I play with a lot of non-blockchain gamers, and I talk about this game all the time. It's actually a really awesome way for them to make the transition into blockchain, which is freaking awesome. And they don't stare at me with glazed over eyes anymore. So they really like the game. They really like the premise of it and the lore and the whatnot. But currently, like, how will teaming evolve? This is something that I personally really want to know, because currently you could go into a raid without teaming with people. And the next question has to do with loot system, but just to get a feel where teaming is going to go, how it's going to evolve.
So we're going to completely abandon teaming. No, just kidding. Just kidding. we're going to well, alpha doesn't have instance rates, so you're still in the same map, and that removes matchmaking. Matchmaking will solve problems of weird people coming into your raid, right? We're gonna do matchmaking systems, 2 of them, one random matchmaking, one guild assigned matchmaking, so you can only go with the same guild based on the mark that's going to be in the player name. So we're working on it. You're not going to see it till like beta, like probably a second month of beta, because matchmaking systems are tricky and they not always work, and it takes some time to do. What that means for players, not only they will have a chance to join the right group, but also the raids will become longer because the mobs is going to be larger. The mobs that going to be the mobs that you're going to be teleported to. They're going to be not on the same server. There's going to be a lot of fun, I think. It's going to take us more time, but what we created is this giant room, and that's also a spoiler, with a giant door in it. And you're going to approach this door, and then in this giant room, there's going to be different statues that you can go to each statue and educate yourself while you're waiting for teammates to join in. Matchmaking in certain games takes quite a bit. You know, you have to wait. It's not always 5 seconds unless you get random people. So you're waiting for your guy. He's still at work or he's driving. He's going to be, you never know how that's going to work out. So we created a giant room where you can educate on history. And there's a big door that it's like 50 feet tall, and you're the little thing standing there. And then that will teleport you to the raid. So that's in the Unreal 5. It's already done. So that's kind of the little things that we're bringing up is instancing the raids and matchmaking the groups. 2 types of matchmaking. Once again, one random, so whoever approaches, and the second one guild-based, right? We don't know if Coders don't introduce by invite raids. We may do that too.
Yeah.
We don't know that yet. I need to see how complicated that's going to be. I can't promise you that it's going to be all candy and dandy. We don't know, but we're going to get there. Like it may take till later after beta, but I'll assure you that in beta you will have instance raids, and that will prevent these issues where somebody random comes and grabs the ring and things like that.
You're getting to my next question. Look at his smile. So that was like, let's say it's me, Dak, Adamus, Chiefy, and Crypto Witch, right? And we're all here. Would we be able to invite each other to a team without looking for a team being matched? Like if we're all standing together in the future?
So if there is a system like this in UE5, I'm going to find it and I'm going to implement. That's why we're going to San Francisco for the game designers conference right now in a couple of weeks. And I'm going to find people that know how to do it. We're going to implement it. Whatever is there that's possible to code and it makes sense for us, we're going to do it. And unless they're going to throw some crazy numbers on it, then we're going to find a coder that's going to do it for less than they ask. So it's we've been very cautious with money. So we try to sometimes let system age a little.
Yeah.
And work on something else, and when 100 people on Earth knows how to code that particular system, we get that person versus 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like this new car. So we will see what we can do with it, but keep in mind, systems like this are tricky, tend to blow up, tend to kick you out of the server. So we're going to do it very, very, very slowly.
That's cool.
And
yeah, because...
go
ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Adonis and I, we go back, old gaming, Anarchy Online, MMORPG, and it really did have amazing kind of teaming, whereas you have a team leader, and that team leader can assign loot rights. So it's either anybody could loot, or everybody has a turn to loot, or only raid leader gets to loot and assign someone to grab the loot. Do you ever see it? Not currently, because like I get exactly what you're saying, that you have to kind of let it evolve on its own so that it doesn't like slowly is better than really fast and messes up. But do you see something like that for the future?
I think so. I'm definitely going to research that. It's maybe a little tougher with responsiveness of blockchains.
Yeah.
So we will see if the loot is going to be non-NFT, then I think it's going to work. That's why we didn't drop any items that are NFTs, as blockchain takes its sweet time to send you things. So that's why you see it's been slower on Polygon than on Wax recently. Both are working, but it takes time. So what we drop, what orcs drop, orcs and these drops are just tests, right? Yeah. So what they drop is not crazy rare, so you can't be really mad on the person when they grab it, right? And when you go kill Titans, you guys discuss who's going to get the helmet because they don't have it yet.
For the most part.
But I created a solution for it immediately, and it's called PvP Zone. Grab them by the hair, drag them to PvP Zone, beat them up there, let them give you the thing back. So so what we're thinking is we're gonna do a hardcore PvP where you drop your whole inventory. So right now we have a soft PvP, but we're working on a hardcore. So anything that you carry on yourself is gonna fall off, and whoever kills you can take it.
Wow.
So guess where I'm never going to be. Guess where I'm never going to be.
You can just put your really good stuff in your chest and go there with like a mushroom.
You can, but I promise you that people will forget. So it's gonna be be
that's true.
It's gonna be exciting. So
now I'm gonna kind of tickle you for some information here. Can you give us any updates the Emerald Pass holders will be experiencing to make people want to go out and grab an Emerald Pass?
Well, Emerald Passes are very cheap.
Yeah.
Compared to what the gold ones paid. They're like a third of the price. That means the reward is not as good as gold people. Plus the gold passes needed to deal with a much more difficult and basic game than the emeralds are getting. So I would say Emerald and Silvers are getting a deal right now. There is significant more of mobs to kill in the game. There's multiple new bosses. There's a whole new raid. There's a whole new raid that they didn't have for the first 4 weeks in gold. We bring the king, the Orc King raid number 2 about a month into gold pass. So the guys didn't have it. So I think emeralds are receiving all the content that gold passes have, plus emeralds will and silvers will receive the survival rate, which is in Drakefell. That's going to go there. So we're working on the survival rate. It's more of bring a team across the gate and survive waves of enemies that getting stronger and stronger and dropping more interesting loot. So that's going to be a system that we're testing too. We introducing
okay, I gotta say that right there, that piqued my interest.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Well, we didn't have that. So for now we had straight raids where you go right and you finish the raid and you kill the boss, and that's it. Then you open the chest. Now I'm trying to start testing systems for invading the castles, and one of them is survival. Because
oh my God, that's so cool.
because you're going to be sitting in the castle and somebody's going to be invading, maybe orcs, maybe witches, whoever.
Tower defense.
Tower defense, yeah.
Basically, that's what it is, yeah. So so we're doing that, plus we're introducing the trolls, like stone and rock trolls. So there's a new enemy coming to you. Really
Oh, are they
large,
big, like huge trolls?
very very big, like a
Oh,
mountain size. Yeah, so they're pretty big.
Oh,
I'm so
So
excited.
okay. I'm hearing about all this too for the first time, so I'm excited.
yeah,
This now on the Wine and Cheese Show.
we have built a brand new harbor, like a little one on the side of the island. I mean, you guys seen that this island became ginormous since we started.
Yes. I get
didn't
lost.
we never wanted to make it that big, and we just players and me, like we just started to make it bigger and bigger and bigger, and finally decided that we're going to keep it in the game.
I love it
It's
big. I
And
love it like that.
I gotta say, you mentioned getting lost and how big the island is getting and everything. There's no map, but
There's
people
no
are okay
map.
with it,
You have
and
to
I
like
love it. I love it.
memorize.
Yeah, it's like, you live in the space. You got to live in it. You got to learn it. You got to love it.
The map is here. It's not that difficult. It's like it's people complain for 3 days. We don't have a map. We need this. We need that. After 3-4 days, we didn't receive any DMs about why there's no map, why there is no G. Everybody knows what places are, and you have the teleportations that takes you to these places, and that's kind of your map. When
And you
go
have
to the teleport,
signs.
and you have
You have
signs,
signs.
yes.
And you have players now that are always around to help people find locations or take them around and stuff. So it's kind of created a way for people to kind of engage with each other, because if you're brand new, you're like, Drecky Fells, where's that? By the way, great name. I wonder where that came from.
Well,
Crypto Witch.
Crypto Witch. Smart.
I know, guys. You were on the defense when we spoke in August, when I mentioned there's going to be no map. Everybody was like, I don't think that's going to work for MMORPG, and so far it's been working.
Yeah.
And it's a really large mob where going from one end to the other one, it can take you like hour and a half if you're exploring. So it's a lot, and everybody knows where everything is. Guys are not lost anymore. I think we're gonna keep it like this. I've noticed that players also created their own maps of villages and resources, and they're posted out there in our Discord. So you can just grab somebody work and use it for your own good, right? I think in the future we will allow players to create maps, submit them to us, and we will sell them, let them sell them. We will add the item into the game, like a scroll.
The temple store?
And they can sell them in the temple store, your own art. So you can create the map, we will just upload it into the game, and then
that
you can
leads
list
me to my next question.
Go ahead.
So currently you have businesses in Avalon, i.e. the stable, mill, forge, etc., which is awesome. Will there be a way for players to sell rare and unique items, i.e. a map, scroll, in either a live auction or house or the church?
So if you find something very rare, that's an NFT. It's really up to you if you going to list it and sell it, right? If you find something less rare, you will approach the store. And right now, the store system is not ready, and I have the vision for it. Don't have a system yet that will let you list it at your own price. In general, the owners that paid for the stores, temples currently, that's quite a bit of investment. So I let them at this stage decide what they want to buy and for how much money they want to sell it. So they will be the ones that say, hey, we're buying these rings and we're going to sell them at that much, right? And they will offer you a price for the ring, and then you go and buy it. So for now, they let's call them, they work a little bit like a buy and sell for both ways. If we create a market where players can list their own stuff and they don't receive percentage of the sale, that takes temples out of business. So we have to protect them. So I may come up with an idea where they get the percentage of your sale, just like a marketplace, right?
Yeah.
So we
yeah, that makes sense. It's just like
we will work on it. It's,
with the BE shops. You know?
I gotta say, I think one of the things that I've liked about Avalon and kind of related to Upland and the two that I play in the most, right, is that I see the idea of the business model, the in-game business model working. Yeah. And for guilds, for players who want to invest and get money out of the game, kind of things. I see it working. I also really appreciate, because we didn't know how this was going to work when we signed up with Alpha and the guilds, when we bought the mills, right? We didn't know how it was going to work, what was going to come out. And Marius, I got to give you, you and the team kudos for kind of saying, hey guys, we're going to do this program, with the AVO that's coming out of it, and ways help, you're providing us a reinvestment plan, which I think is really great, because those early investors, those early groups of folks that invested in businesses in Avalon are going to be able to, at least in SD, the people who bought our mill tokens that More Cheese created, and they look awesome, right? They're going to be able to actually get benefits of almost doubling their investment in in-game assets. So I think it's really great that from a business perspective, you keep thinking about the business, the investors, how to create an economic model within the game and keep it in, kind of insular to the game and protect it. So that's been really good.
All right. So I really don't like the word investors and investments. I rather like the word.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah, I rather like the word of helping out project by having an item in the game that provides a service. It will be the right way I would like to call it.
Sure.
It is an NFT, so obviously someone paid for the NFT, but like we're very transparent. We don't guarantee prices of the token. We cannot guarantee any listings. We cannot guarantee anything, anytime at all. What we can guarantee that in-game token works the way it's supposed to, and you can see it's working. So therefore, we offered something that's called a buyback of an in-game token for business, in-game business owners, right? And we will put that towards additional business that you guys bring in order to grow the communities, right?
Yeah.
So we've been very transparent with the community that we are not buying new Ferraris for the money that it's spending the game. Or
I just put a down payment on one. I'm just kidding. Go
ahead. We're very cautious with what we're doing here. We spend a lot of money already in the game, and every time a guild comes and say, "Hey, Marius, we want to help out the project with this and that," then we're very transparent what's happening to this. And you can see the results pretty much within the next month or two when you were playing. So we've been as much transparent as I could at this point. As Indie Studio, we're trying to prove the concept that it's working, it's interesting to players. And in many cases, it's more interesting than the very, very large titles that studios spend $80 million. And we're getting this feedback from players that if we fix a couple things and the world get larger, this is way better than tons of the other titles. That's what I'm hearing from players, right?
Yeah.
So for us, in order, thank you. So for us, it's important to, yes, we started and we promised a lot, but then we delivered. And versus like in other games, I'm not going to mention, players saw the alpha and sold 70% of NFTs immediately the next week. In our game, 2% of players never sold anything. They're still in the game, they're playing. There's very little people that quit the game, and the ones that quit mostly because they got dropped into the army during the latest situation that we have, or their living style change, or they're just simply not going to have time to play. But that's a very tiny amount that you see on the marketplaces that have been sold by players, and most of the stuff that they sell doesn't sit there, gets picked up right away by another player. So we think people have a lot of trust in the game. It's still a little community. But it's mighty and strong, and that's all we need. We start very little. We spoke to Amazon AWS services, and they would like to keep it in 700 in beta, and that was my kind of idea, and they agreed it. A good number is between 500 and 700 players in beta, just to be able to give them and you guys enough support on our end. We're being a small team still, and make sure that we can grasp all the servers, because there's going to be quite a bit of servers. So yeah, that's the main goal, is to basically make sure that we not only provide a good gameplay, but when you communicate with us every day, you will receive reply from the team versus waiting a week. or somebody that doesn't speak English replies to you, for example.
And Marius is even in the game sometimes. Like you
Yeah.
can actually see him in the game. Like it's
Breathing
so
fire on
crazy.
players.
Yeah, it's like you're like doo, let me go to the fountain to get my buff, and you're like, oh snap, Marius is standing right there, which is like you don't see that in most games.
That's really cool. Yeah.
I play with players. I go to raids. I go to raids now less because I'm trying to add more stuff. Plus my wife is about to unscrew my head if I spend time in a game. So
she plays too, though. She plays too.
Yeah, I see sometimes.
I see her,
but I come and I just like show up in the sky in a dragon, and people are like, "There was a dragon in the sky." No, that doesn't exist in the game. You're lying, and that's
Kitty
me just flying
Kitty
around.
Was so excited. You should have heard her on Discord. Like she was like trying to find you, and then when you were like, "More cheese," you have a visitor at your house, and I'm like running from the raid. I'm like, oh, and then I see this huge dragon in front of my door. It's exciting. It's exciting to experience this with, you know, the founder, the creator of this game, and it's an experience unlike anything else. You can't really do that with these AAA games that like are too good for people, and you're like, your game reminds me of WoW. Like I don't know, like I don't want to get anyone in trouble or no trademarks or anything, but like I go in there and it's just a well-made game, and you don't see stuff like that for blockchain anywhere. And like I just want to give you props for that because that's amazing. And now that I asked you that, I got to ask another question, maybe as
Ooh, question coming.
In regards to streaming, I know we're not able to we're only able to really stream the first raid now. I know some exceptions were made for other stuff, which is good because, like, you know, to get people in, it's important. With new raids coming out and the Emerald Pass coming out, would it be possible to be able to stream both raids on the regular now, or should we wait a bit for that as well?
I would stay and focus on maybe raid 1.
Raid 1.
Just the reason for that is to let people be surprised by the game and don't see everything.
Yeah, raid 2 is pretty awesome.
we allowed on the couple streams that were not all that busy for Atomic Hub, their official partner.
Mm-hmm.
So we trying to give them a good product, and their streams had like 80 people or something. Were not very affecting us in any way, but they became a partner. They're going to be supporting the project in the future. So I say if you guys plan, definitely stream every day, every night. We're going to be streaming more too. I will stay into the R1 for now, right? And when we add another one, then you can do R1, R2, and then skip R3. So people still have a content that they need to find and explore, and versus watching the video on YouTube and never getting into actual game, right?
All right. That's good, because like a lot of people have been asking, and I think it would be good to kind of like refer them to this and just say, listen, you know, some exceptions were made, but that's, you know, permission based. Just stick to raid 1 right now. Let people be surprised and experience it. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, if you've seen everything in the trailer, you're never gonna go to the movies, right?
Exactly. Those trailers are crazy. Like they tell you the whole freaking movie.
Yeah. Why would you go to the movie?
You're like, yeah, I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So there's really bad trailers out there. So
it's gonna be Mrs. White in the library with the candlestick.
I wanna talk a little bit for 2 seconds only about the partnerships that we have cooking. They're not on the paper yet, but I can mention because they're already in large progress. So we are moving very soon into the Wombat app on the mobile phones, where they have over 3.5 million people there. So they're going to be able to click and download the game, not to their phone, obviously, but they're going to be able to join the game through the Wombat app. That's pretty known. It's pretty known app, German.
Oh yeah, yeah. I play through Wombat.
So we're getting there. We're going to change the whole login into the game. I think if everything goes the way it's looking right now, we will partner up with Venly, and you're going to be able to log in with your social media accounts versus dealing with blockchains and all the rest of the stuff.
Wow.
It's been a trip in the last 8 months to show these different platforms that we are alleged project, and it would be good for them to have us. versus asking us to spend X amounts of tens of thousands of dollars in order to implement it, right? So Avalon became one of these projects, and I'm very humbled by that, and the team is, that people actually want to have it versus we need to have them. So it a little changed, and I was like this with YouTubers. You guys remember, I was against a lot of different channels, and I told you in a year we gonna be needed on their channel, because if they miss us, community is gonna be pissed off, and that's exactly what's happening right now. We get more outreach people coming to us. Can we? Versus pay us.
Exactly. That's good. I love it.
So we do support YouTubers. We have our own YouTubers, which is interesting. YouTubers actually came and supported the project. And then they say, we like the project, we will support it, and then we will make videos. I mean, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
So it's not the other way around. I do understand their living and system, how they work. So we try to make the project big. Once you make it big and the rewards get bigger, you will have a lot of followers as YouTuber too. So a lot of people is moving from Twitch right now to YouTube again because of the fees that changed there. So so that's coming. So anyway, I'm deviating from what I was trying to say. So we got Wombat, we got Venly, and Atomic Hub officially will be helping us promote upcoming collections, upcoming whatever is coming. We're going to become one of these official partners for them. We had discussion with Wax. Wax is very supportive of our project. They're trying to look deeply into the gameplay. There's going to be some more partnership. Wax is currently preparing easier logins too, and you guys noticed that there is a new system right now logging into the Wax wallet that just changed recently, also with social media that you can log in. What we're trying to achieve in the next beta phase is try to skip the MetaMask as much as possible. We do need that, and I recommend people having secure wallet like this, but it's very difficult for almost anybody and everybody that I know to log into the game using MetaMask, even using our third-party website that we have right now that you can just come in and link it. We know it, guys, but 90% of gamers doesn't know it, doesn't know how that works, doesn't want to deal with it. So unfortunately, MetaMask is going to be something that we're going to drop into a different, to bring a different type of social wallet. Most likely it's going to be Venly. We're going to make it easier for players to onboard. That's the main goal here.
I just
And
figured
Dak,
out.
I know,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, just Dak has to leave. So do you want to get a last word in, Dak?
Dak?
No, I think that when we met, we started talking about the guild, and we ended up being one of the first guilds in the system. But now we're seeing so many others coming in. I mean, just yesterday I was reading through, and there was a guy saying, "Hey, how do I create a guild?" And so I'm starting to see more and more guilds being created and creating a lot more community, a lot more interest from different games, Discord servers out there and everything. And so I think it's been really good. And part of that is, I think, the gameplay. It's the engagement model and the support that the Danu team gives. And I think that it's also the community that's been involved. I mean, everyone says this about the community of Avalon. People are helpful, they're engaged, and they enjoy the game. And I think that that's not something you find very often in crypto space. Even Upland right now is getting a lot of heartache from the community about some of the decisions they made and so forth. But in Avalon, and yes, it's a new name, it's a new game. It's still in alpha and everything. But Marius and the team, you guys have been really responsive. You've worked hard to build a good community, and I think that's what's helping really drive the success of the game.
Great.
I want to follow up really quickly before Dak leaves. We're very thankful for creation of SD, so more cheese and Dak. Thank you guys so much for creating the guild and being the most active guild so far and the most supportive. You have some competition there, like slightly climbing on your back, but which is great.
We love that. I'm a fan of that.
We're very thankful, and you guys are up to second village thanks to one of the investors that jumped in. Okay, not an investor, supporter that jumped in. Yeah, and then and you guys became a much stronger guild with a good real estate, in-game real estate model. And we always say that what you see is not what you're gonna see in beta. So we're trying different layouts of villages and different layouts of how the businesses are. are set up, and we're getting comments from different guilds. Hey, Marius, this doesn't work. This is not. It doesn't bring anything. That doesn't work. And why this village, this guild, it's so much ahead than where we are. And I'm trying to explain. This village has been created a year ago, and your village has been created a month ago. So there's
Takes
there's
time.
a lot of yeah. So but yes,
I got to tell you, what you guys did with Drekkie Fell, that was beyond what I expected you guys to deliver. It is beautiful.
Yes,
and your
it is.
Airbnb, everybody wants that property.
Is that the one on the hill there?
That's the one on the hill.
thing?
Yeah, everyone
Beautiful.
wants that.
Yeah, I was exploring that.
A big thank you here to Ivan Volchenko, our chief designer, that took my vision and put it there in the ground. I told him to create a Swiss village style with 2 openings, and I designed a lake, how it's going to be, and where the meal is going to come.
So
but that was just my sketch, and he made it all beautiful. So that's a
did a great job.
Big thank you here for Ivan that also worked on all the Witchers. And you can see that influence. A lot of stuff that you see is I throw an idea and I say, I want this here. And it's like a baby that draw it with a little,
It's like Ben. It's like Ben with his doodles.
Guilty.
And then he takes it and he looks at it. I'm like, okay, I'll make it beautiful. And it just comes out beautiful. So it's really a him to make it visually pretty. And at this stage of the game, it's me as the creative director to just create villages. And because the village is so beautiful now, the rest of the villages feels unfair. But these are the different versions of villages in the game. And really how it looks when it comes to economy doesn't matter. It's where it's going to be placed when it comes to harbors, access to the water, access to trade. You have to think about stuff. Where are you? And just like in the real world, the closer to the water you are, the better it is for you. It's in real life. That's how all the cities started, and the little villages and little harbors. And then humans ventured out inland because the land was cheaper or the crops were better. But we all started by the water. So this game is going to start the same thing. We're changing now the spawn thing. So you're going to spawn in a game in a harbors like you just arrived, and then you can choose where you go. The spawn zone was not fair for other villages because it was still created in the first village. But that's how we started the game. That's where all the missions are. And I couldn't change it. But in the beta, you can expect, guys, you're going to arrive on a big ship and you're going to arrive in a harbor and you need to talk to a couple NPCs to give you general guidance where you want to go. And then go and explore the world without the map again. No maps for you. For now, we're going to do it. But I'm not going to have a game with no quests. So like there's going to be a lot of quests. Like be ready for that.
PvE players loved it, so thank you.
Thank you one more time.
I gotta go.
Thank you, Doc, so much.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you. You guys have fun. Thanks for having me on. Wine and cheese.
Thanks, Dak.
And I just I want to give a quick shout out to Mass for putting the finance books together, because without him, we wouldn't have our businesses and our foundation and this and that. He is amazing. Thank you. Yeah. All right, get out of here, Dak. I'm just kidding.
Thank you. Thank you, Mas. Thank you, Mas Chef, for supporting us. Yes, we just spoke yesterday a little bit about the future and what we're trying to do with subscription.
Smart. He's such a smart guy.
Subscription. Wow. The game is a little different than many of the other games. We have a group of guys between 40 and 60 that have businesses already, kids out of the house, and then now have a little bit more time to play game. And treat it as they're like a fun business, and they bring their experience into organizing their own communities. And it's now in their hands, not our hands anymore. We just give them the blueprint.
Yeah, like it's great. Like the age range of this game is like it's for adults who used to play. Like Crypto Witch, she's going to be in charge of our website, and like these people just come in and they bring so much knowledge. Right. And it's like you get these people together and they make beautiful things. Like you get Mash, you get Crypto Witch, you get Zeus and Nuno from Atomic Hub. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing. But I do have one more question for you. So I play all right, this is mainly a computer game, and you're going to eventually have it on Steam, right? So I play mostly just computer games, but my husband, he plays console games. Now we have an Xbox Pass game, Xbox Live Pass thing where we could play console games on a computer. Will you ever go the console route, or will you keep it to PC?
It is in a white paper and in the articles that we going to go towards Xbox live experience, so streamable, and towards their store. We already did the stage number 1, which is the controller for Xbox One is fully compatible with the game, and
Nice.
majority of the players. It's interesting how everybody says I'm a keyboard hardcore, but I'm noticing that more than a half players right now plays with controller until they get to the raid when they really need to focus.
Yeah.
Then they shift to the keyboard, but they explore the world on laying in bed, let's say, with the controllers. So it's a little different, and I think this is very beautiful that we have that. Also, we are fully integrated, I've noticed, by players in that part with PlayStation 5 controller. I've noticed we have multiple players now using PS5 controller that showed us that it's possible to do it. So we are coming to the console streamables. It will take a couple years, guys. We're not going to be pushing right away for that. It's going to be just us watching how other games allowed players to go outside of the game, purchase NFT, and bring it into the game. So we're watching right now. There's been some guidelines produced by Epic Store about blockchain games. You see multiple games from blockchain coming on Epic Store for now. For now, what we're hearing also is that they would like us to have a store outside of the actual game and then bring items into the game. So we also submitted to Nintendo Switch. I've been I've been vocal about it for the last 6 months. So the company from Taiwan is preparing that for us. They're currently have the build for the last 3 months. They're playing, they're loving it, which is crazy because they distributing one of the best games in the world, and they say that they really like the game. So they've been playing this. It takes time to get it ready, and we're gonna get a demo first. We'll see how much we need to cut off to be able to stream to the console. So we're working on that, but these are our routes. We're starting in blockchain. We're moving into, let's say, Epic, right? For now, because we see how friendly they are. We'll see where we go further. Then Xbox, and we hope Nintendo. We will submit to everybody. We will follow their guidance lines. We will see how the community grows, right? We've told players how to use this game on the Mac computers. There is a lot of very skilled players in our Discords, and there's guides how to play this game on a Mac already. And people play it on their Macs where they traveled. It's just certain software they need to download. So we think it's going to grow, and the better team we get, the more money we get, the more solutions we're going to present. But don't expect that we will do free-to-play economy for everybody inside of a crypto game. That's just, I don't think this is going to work.
Yeah.
So I've been contacted by a lot of really large, very well-known, and I can't say the names, but they come to us and they say, we have the largest in the world guild for scholarships, and they're really the largest, right? And they come and they say, we want to bring X amount of thousands of people from these countries to play the game, and how we can do it. I don't have solution for that right now. I don't think economy could sustain that. I don't think we are the game made to, we bring it in and somebody else pulls it out. I want to kind of stay away from this at this stage at all. What I did introduce for scholars is if you own a Forge, and we have 2 Forge owners at this stage, you received 8 NFT scholarship accounts. Who do you rent these NFT workers to? It's completely your business. It doesn't affect us in any way because you pay them, not us. So we very this is the, if you're planning on asking me the question, will you ever gonna have a free to play? At this stage, I rather have a smaller, very solid community that's invested and takes care of their own investment than have a giant community when there's a small group of people invested and the rest basically attacks the system.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They're just trying to see what they can pull out of it.
can we do a version of the game when it's a free to play and then in-game purchases? Absolutely, we will do that. That was recommended by one of the largest consoles in the world to do it that way. So we will do it, but it's not going to be an NFT game. It's going to be a different style of a game. It will be different than what you guys see in an NFT game. But that will come at some point. As we know, to gain large audience, you need to just get them into the game, introduce them to the world, make them decision if they want to purchase something and stay in the game or build up their empire, or inside of this game, we're going to give them the choice, or you want to switch into a crypto version of it where maybe there is some other benefits for you. So here is that version. For me, it's important to get eyes on the game and get criticism and bring the interest, because we need more players. But I'm all about slow grow and making sure it's working, and spending more money into game content than I don't know, music and movies or other stuff that I could do with the game. I decided to spend money into content, and people can see it. Players can see there's always something to do.
Yeah.
We may don't have a guys, $100,000 trailer out. We don't think like it was needed at this stage. We think gameplay is what people can stream. And I think I'd rather spend $100,000 for coders that will give you tons of new missions and new mobs and new places to explore, than a studio that will make a fancy video that you will forget in 5 minutes. Just my opinion for now. We will see how it's going to go in the future. We're now changing the whole game into it's time to talk about us between alpha and beta, because we haven't, because we were a little studio. If we will be saying, hey, we have this game, we're going to make it, nobody would believe in it, especially in the bear market, right? Yeah. So we accomplished the product, and now, guys, we're moving. We're very happy that we accomplished and humbled. And we're moving into promotion. So now you're going to see more about us and more of my face and maybe my partners here in the company to just talk about Avalon. Just tell people we exist. The Templar story is coming in. The Inquisitors are coming in. The Druids are coming in. Everything as promised. We are sorry we didn't give you incredible storyline in the alpha, but that was not the goal of alpha. The goal of alpha was like 9 quests and then try the raids and try the economy. Everything that I promised, I think, Angela, you've been playing, and you know that it's there.
It's there. I love it.
And then I surprise people with like new things. And today we dropped all the dragons, and people going mad crazy. Like, they just have 5 days to play with dragons, I think, or 4, but they are everywhere. I'll assure you. I haven't seen it. I just see a bunch of different screenshots coming, but all these guys that have been running for 2 months on the ground, now they have a dragon to fly around. So I think their minds blew up today in the morning. They got the new
I gotta get in there. I gotta get in there and test it out before it's over. But like, I love, this is the first time I'm hearing that you're offering a non-blockchain version of the game, just so people can see how awesome and amazing it is. Like, my gamer friends would love that, and then they'd be like, all right, this looks really cool, explain to me how the blockchain version of it works, and I would be more than happy. Like, for the first time ever, it would be them asking me and not me trying to educate them. So this is like I said before, the perfect transition from regular gaming into blockchain gaming, and just better understanding it. You're amazing. The game's amazing. I'm so freaking happy I bumped into you in Digicon, the last Digicon.
What happened? What happened to Digicon?
They changed. They changed. I think the Splinterland stopped promoting it. So Waffles Kitty, she did her own version of it, because she used to run it for them. So
we had a really big booth on the latest one.
Oh, okay.
Not that many people comes. We had one of the largest booths, like half of the screen was us, but it's not that busy like it was with Splinterlands. I think crypto in general, crypto gaming, GameFi, we need these conventions, and I think these really large games should sponsor them and come up with a really good platform that is not like disconnects us or we're choppy. There's a lot of talking about these conventions, but none of them really work very well, or there's too many of them.
Well, I have an idea.
Yes.
So in our other game, we've been creating spatial worlds, right? And I would love to introduce Avalon to my other MetaVenture friends Metaverse friends in Upland, and it would be just so cool to kind of have you there as an avatar, and like, let's bring some of the dragons in, let's bring some of the stuff in, and they could just walk around and see stuff and ask questions, and you can give a live kind of event
sure.
and just talk about it. That would be amazing. If you create the avatar in Ready Player Me, and I know D-Tech is creating our spatial, or no, Moon Unit, our new person has been creating something for us for our business in Upland called Samurai Aquatics. So we sell virtual decor, outdoor decor in Upland, and it's pretty lucrative. It's really cool, and we have a huge fan base there. And how amazing would it be to have like a stage and like the dragons flying around? Like, we could definitely work this out and talk about it offline.
Definitely. Any marketplaces or any meeting points where we can go and just introduce the project, we're definitely interested. We have added the project currently to Magic Eden. Magic Eden actually reached out to us because they are now introducing Matic and Polygon into Magic Eden. Before it was just based in Ethereum, right? And Solana. I apologize. Solana was the very first one. So Magic Eden, we are there. We starting to promote. We have applied to Crypto.com and OpenSea. And Coinbase. So we're trying to go for all the big NFT marketplaces when the project already is established on OpenSea for quite a while. And we see what's happening. OpenSea right now removed all their fees to 0% for quite a while now. So that's a good marketplace right now for everybody to go and browse. But what I'm noticing is the login and the MetaMask is what stops a lot of people from just joining through Polygon. I've noticed that. So we're trying to bring, as soon as we can, Vanly on board to make the login to the game easier.
Yeah.
And I recommend for now, for all the new players, just use Wax, I guess. If it's easier for you, it seems to be easier to set up than MetaMask is in this second, which will change in the future. And I'm noticing that guys that come from a Web 2 visit us and say, well, hold on, I don't know how to do it, but I went to Wax and I set up my wallet right away. And this is not promoting me Wax here. I'm just saying how easier it is to set up your wallet and pay with credit card using them, right?
Yeah. So
this is for your friends that in the Web 2 gaming would like to jump in. Definitely don't confuse them with MetaMask. The hardcore guys are very good with MetaMask, and I understand that, and I've been with MetaMask since forever. But we're waiting and looking for better solutions. As you can see, majority of the games are still using that wallet as it's safe and good to keep your assets, and you own the keys, right?
Yeah.
Which is very, very important for everybody that has a lot of assets. Another thing I want to mention, for the transfers out of the game, for the businesses, we say we're going to run escrow. So every 7 days, we're going to verify the transactions that came into your in-game business, and then we're going to transfer it back to you. That is for safety reasons, so we don't have bots in the game running around, withdrawing, doing whatever they want to do.
That's a good idea.
So we will do delays, and I bet you 99% of the players are going to be totally fine with it. It's better to have It's better to have a delay than economy that tumbles down, right? So, another thing I want to bring, and I didn't spoke about it. That was not a question, but I really want to talk about it. It's an important fact for the future of this game. Whoever is going to run it, however it's going to work. So I am looking more into the business models of games like Final Fantasy, where it's more of a subscription model than pay-to-win model. And I've been studying the 10 major games in MMORPGs for the last couple of years, and I see the player numbers and discussions. I'm noticing that people really don't like spend 6 to 10 hours in a game and get an item like the helmet, and then have somebody else as us sell the helmets to somebody else with a credit card. So you spend 10 hours, but the guy next to you is going to spend $200 and he has the same gear. And that's in majority of the games. So we're going to avoid that.
That's going to be hard.
And it really not. The gear that you will find in the game is going to be better than the gear we will sell, or completely different. So your time is going to be valuable, and your price on your own gear, it's going to be up to you. If you think like you're 15 hours into fighting the Titans was worth X amount of money, then you list the NFT on X amount of money, but you're not going to see my marketplace competing with your time. So I'm going to give the time back to players, and tons of games don't do that. They give you either or. Either you hustle in a game, or you can directly buy the gear sets. So we're not going to do it. We're going to have a gear sets, but they won't be nowhere close to what you can find. So I want the players to kind of think on that one, because I've noticed exodus of gamers from these games that have play-to-win models. So we're trying to do more of a subscription model in the future, and I've noticed Final Fantasy, it's growing players big time, because they changed the model. So these are things 5 years from now we're going to be still watching, but I'm just trying to ensure people that watch it are going to go back a couple months from now, that we will try avoid as much as possible selling items that will diminish the things that you find in the game. So we will try to make people that spend their time and actually care about the money for the time to have completely different items that we will list in the store, and I will make sure that what we design is different than the stuff you have in that helmet. Just an example, right?
All right.
It's a complicated but very important thing to bring in, because it ruins games in general.
Yeah, no, like it ruined Anarchy Online. Like I remember back when I was playing it in 2004, 2005, like 500K in game was rich. And then let's say 5 years later, $1 million, you're rich, you're set. Now, if you go in there now, the same item that cost like 500K is now 2 billion. You can't even hold $1 billion in your thing. So you have to do multiple tunes to pay for something, and it's just disgusting. It's disgusting.
Get expensive, deflated the coin.
Yeah.
So that was it. Is there any follow-up question waiting for me there somewhere secretly?
I'm done. Do you have anything, Ben? I know Ben is not like too much into this, but I know I talk to him all the time. Do you have anything up your sleeve, or did we do a good job? Did I do a good job?
Yeah, I just think well, first of all, it's amazing to see, a founder and somebody that's part of such a massive project not only be willing to do shows like this, but, actively, as you talked about, engaging in the game. But I just love how Marius, it seems like you have I would assume you've got a very long-term picture of where you see this eventually getting to, but you're not in a hurry to rush to get there. Like you said, you're getting emails, you're getting offers for, thousands of players, but you're like, hang on, let's just pump the brakes on this and let's stick to the plan, take it slow and steady. So even as an outsider, I just got to say mad respect just for that aspect alone. But, as far as like what the game looks like and that, it looks absolutely incredible. Like I'm not a gamer, but I can appreciate like the art style and everything like that. It's just everything that I've seen just blows me away. So yeah, awesome props to you and the team.
Thank you so much for kind words, and very humble with working hard. The whole team has been working very hard. We have teammates that we're trying to change their lives also by getting them, getting some of our coders from the places that we are into better places. So this whole project has a lot of meaning to me, and I always want to bring it up. If I have a busy life, I have a big company outside of this one. So jumping here and dedicating time of my life and taking it away from my family and my life, it wasn't to just get a quick 2-year project and fold it down. That's why the questions always come, why did you choose MMORPGs? The toughest is this, is that? But I'm like saying that the only games that last 20 years are MMORPGs.
Yes. Yeah.
These are the games that make companies into billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. Like Blizzard, 8.7 billion, I think, last year after taxes. So, when they were starting in the first year, it was just a small group of coders. It was a small group of hardcore guys playing board games. Took 4 or 5 years to get the first WoW out. It's been a huge success since then, right? So I'm not trying to compare because we're very little, but I'm trying to say that what we're going for is a project that has life ahead. We can get older with it. There's nothing wrong with starting where we're starting and taking it slow, Ben, and just saying we just want 700 players, and we don't care if 10,000 is waiting. Let them wait. They have a bunch of other games to play. we have to make sure that what we deliver doesn't crash, break, burn, and creates a bunch of unhappy people, right? So so this is kind of what we went for. A smaller group, so far 93% retention, which is very high, I think, for alpha. And now we're going to go for a larger group. We're going to see how they're going to do. And will there be a space for real estate, let's call it, and blockchain real estate supporters, let's call them like that, like Upland is, for example, right? Would there be place for them? Definitely, because the system of buildings that we have and businesses that are service providers, when we have a service provider business, so they're there and you really need them. So I created the need for players to use that business in a game. And I think there's a space for all these guys that or ladies that invest in some different businesses from their phones, like they do in Upland right now. They're going to be able to do it at some point in this game where they don't need to play it. They can decide that they want to buy this meal here, that meal there, that thing there, and then just get a flow of whatever is happening. So I'm working on it. I'm going to work on it with Wombat to make sure we have access to your mobile phone and place some of your assets from your mobile phone into the game and never use PC to play. There's a lot of people that would like to do it. They don't have a life to do it. And we're trying to work it as much as possible. It's been a lot of work, guys, to be honest with you.
Well, it's very clear. I think it's very clear, even from the outside, that the underlying motivations for what you're setting up here is like you're successful in all other aspects of your life or whatever. So this isn't something that you're doing necessarily to, this has to succeed so I can pay my mortgage. This is, it feels very much like this is your baby, and helicopter parenting might have negative connotations to it, but it very much feels like, this is your baby and you're very protective of your baby. You know where you want to see that, and you're just taking all of the right steps to, to see that come true. So I think it's amazing. Like, as I said, and perhaps some of the casual listeners or observers aren't aware of the caliber or the big names that you talk to. I know when we first spoke to some of the names you were kind of hinting at, Matt, this is a very massive project. Like you can't underestimate or, understate how huge it is. So.
It is massive project that at some point is going to need to have a large financing. I do think in the first stages, we are fine with what we're doing for the project. Nobody tells us what to do and changes our vision. I'm also educating team on my vision, and I'm going to get another creative director that's going to help me, but I just need to put the vision out. I'm afraid of somebody coming and giving us all the money and saying, no, hold on, do this and that.
Change that.
So I've had these proposals already. I declined a couple of them. And the additional thing that I want to say, the team is really working hard. There's weeks that we put 10 hours each of us in a game to make sure it's working. Things break. It's a code. It will always break. So players can see it. And I've noticed players became like, it's broken. Okay, I'm just going to mute it. Or they start ignoring what's broken and go for what's good in a game. And they understand it's an alpha. We predict this to really last for a very long time. The names, I try to don't throw the names. I'm under a grant from Amazon, and I received, the team received one grant from Polygon. Currently, chains are not dropping grants anymore. Chains are being very restrictive in what they promote and how they promote due to the market situation and some blowups in last couple months. So we are mostly self-financed and player supported, I will say, and we're doing just fine. You see what we delivered, right? And we will deliver beta that's going to be about 5 times better than what it is right now. Also without somebody telling us what to do. But for the future, we will partner up with a larger studio. We will get a decent finance. We will get it to a larger scale of a game. For me, I'm very slow, Ben, because I'm trying this economy to work for the long time. And there's a lot of people that will tell you that they know everything about everything, and this is how it's going to work, and this is the best tokenomics, and this is the best, and that is the best. And then I always ask them, since this is so the best in your company opinion, why are you bringing it to the games? You should be a billionaire by now because it's the best. So people don't have any systems. They're just trying to use your project as a testing device for their idea, and they will sugar it and tell you that it's the best. So we're staying away from that, and very cautious, like very, very, very cautious. Like I was telling you before, you guys can cut it out or something, but I was telling you before that I used to deal with cities and state departments when I was building. So I met a lot of city treasurers, and I talk a lot about how they generate money for the city, where they're missing, how they getting money from the states, and what's happening there, and how I was doing deals where I was building billboards, where the city was getting a cut of income and why. So I'm applying some of that knowledge into the game, try to make this economy as close as possible to what you will see on the street in a good managed city, versus trying to create something that, oh, maybe it's going to work. What you have in your city in general works. Cities are creating income. Most of them are very well, like city where I am, Newport Beach, has surplus of money. It's all what kind of people you have. So I took some advisory. I'm trying to keep that economy under wraps and not creating made up, blown up thing that I will tell people, hey, your mill is going to make 1 million tokens, right? I never say that. I say the mill is going to make money if there is a traffic, if people have something to do next to the mill, and if the bread is needed because you like the bread, because it helps your character to recover during the battle. So I created the free needs, and then I put the meal. And the same thing I will do with my restaurant. I will put it next to the movie theater where people can go right before the movies to dinner, and then hit to dinner with the great parking spot and all that. So I've tried to put it in a game, guys, and it's been working. Look what happened to stables. We bring horses and the stables owners were like, Marius, it doesn't make a token. We brought horses, and the stables blew up to 200,000 tokens within 5 days.
Yeah.
Because players take their own ownership of the horse more serious than the horse that they can grab from the street. And then guess what I did? I removed the free horses completely. They're not existing in the game anymore. Now you're required to have a horse, or you're slow, just like in real life. Either you have your bike or your motorcycle, or your car, or you just do Uber or buses. So it's the same. I'm trying to bring it like that, and it seems to be working. And people don't care if they spend 6,000 tokens on a horse.
And I won't spoil anything, but the horses that you buy yourself and own personally have a lot. You could choose something that they give to you that the regular horses won't. I won't say what. I don't know if you want to share that yourself, but I'll just put that out there.
They're stronger than the regular horses you will have, right? But guys, the big thing is I pushed my lead coder, and he's been very busy recently, but I pushed him a little bit, and we're going to have a pet grow and follow system even in alpha. So in alpha, you're going to be able to summon your pet, and we're trying to probably introduce like the basic pets. And I know a pet system in the future would be lucrative for the game, which is good for players because we're going to build a better game, right? And everybody would like to grow their own wolf and leave him in the farm to protect your sheep. Just an example, right? Because we're going to give them function, not only follow, but function, leave guard, right? So there's a lot of things that I'm bringing in that everybody would say, there's no way they're going to do it. And we just did it. And we did it again. And we did it again. So we have a good coders. We're just hiring more now. Trying to get people to get along because there's a strong-headed team. So trying them to don't
me and Ben.
So don't fight too much. Like,
it's good. It's important though. It's important to kind of like, if you're going to be working close together. Yeah. We fight all the time, but we still love each other. So we're like family, Ben and I,
Yeah.
If you don't fight, you do something wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. I like your approach where it's kind of just the team's just putting your heads down and you're doing the work. You're getting to the point where you're undeniable. Like you said, even with the YouTubers, like you're not chasing YouTubers to promoting your stuff. You're just doing the work and then they're coming to you. I would assume you can only imagine that's going to expand to like financing. Like it'd be very easy to see like some pretty big names, engaging in a kind of bidding wars, kind of that sort of aspect once you get to a certain stage.
Don't forget us. Don't forget us, Marius.
Don't forget the little people, right?
When they say players want something, players need to pay because they win something. I've noticed that. I can't say exactly what I'm talking about, but you can watch these videos. So I don't know what is happening there in some of these games. So it concerns me, but I'm also cheering for them because I want, like, I'm a big fan because I don't want the games to fail. I want them to look great and say Web3 game was amazing, and then people come. So and there's some incredible games that are coming. And I've noticed like chains like Polygon are like now sugar picking games because the AAA studio is behind it because they have this and this. And I always look at it, I'm like, I'm humbled for the AAA studios, but I've seen a lot of studios blow through $100 million and the game was crap in 2 years. So it doesn't matter that they're AAA or quadruple A or whatever the name is, right?
Exactly.
So I'm more like, check the communities, check if people have fun playing the game. And that should be the most important, right? Because you guys look at all the game. I mean, I don't know if Ben is in space, but Angela is playing game every night, including Hogwarts. And
I'm almost done. I'm almost done, and I'm gonna go to the new settlers.
What a beautiful game then! Like I have to say,
very beautiful, very gorgeous.
Yes, so pretty. Like I can't wait. I'm gonna get time. I'm gonna play it because I just heard from you that. There's some mistakes there have been made, but overall it's a very pretty game to play. Yeah.
My only complaint is that like they don't. There's no consequences.
No consequences to your acts. Yeah. So I'm gonna make sure I bring some consequences. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but behind me you have the Inquisitor and the Grand Templar Master. Yeah. And if you look at this, if you look at their sabers, let's call them sabers. They're very Darth Vader and the Jedi right here on that side. So we bring in the dark and the light side. We bring in the dark and the light side. This is basically So
is it going to be like a faction, like the light and the dark?
That's exactly going to be two different factions of the dark and the light, right? So they also have different types of the dragons, right? The fire right here and the ice right here. So all this is like, just give it a time. For now, we just want to try to prove that the game works. And then we're going to load more of the lore and separation of people and always getting the battles between, Inquisition trying to prove that the church is right and Templars, that reincarnation actually works, and boom, right? So this is a lot of fun. We actually just built, and you can put that in the video because people are going to see it. We actually just built a secret castle tower with a landing spot for Dragon, for for the Inquisitor. So so it's going to be there at the end of Alpha. People are going to love it when they're going to find it. And obviously, this guy, ice caves high in the mountains. The four explains all, right? Very, very powerful for us. So a lot of stuff. I don't know if you guys know, but Templars and Vikings went through Arctic. Greenland actually to the top and went to now Canada. So we're gonna have spin that part too into the ice, and that's why he's all in the cold gear since the beginning.
That's so cool.
Nice.
So I wrote like 50 pages of his story before I give them the white four. Now I'm just hinting. So it's a lot of things that I'm hinting. We're gonna get better dragons. The dragons are very basic. They're borrowed. They're not 100%, staying in the game. We're gonna change them. The flight pattern is very easy. Animations are basic. But look, you can take two dragons in the sky and Marius and Ben can burn each other and die in the sky and fell from.
I was gonna ask you that. Can we do kamikaze chicken?
No, there's no collision of dragons because that would be madness. But you can use fire or ice to hit each other from the dragons and have the battle. And then one of you dies, or both of you dies if it's the right timing, right? And then you just fell. And then you fell from 10,000 feet on the players that just playing, doing something else. And there's a dragon fell. So nobody has it, I think, in the blockchain games. So nobody, I think, went that far to do multiplayer battles of dragons in the sky. So we did it. They don't look all that fancy. They're like, the basic World of Warcraft for now, because the animation sets we have. But we will invest in animation sets. There will be smooth turning, flying, wind. You will get all that stuff. So it just give us time, a couple of years to make it really, really pretty. It's all about the base to be solid, your engine to work, your colors to be good for people, that they like the style of the game. There's some incredible games. Just the PAX Day is coming out, I think. That's a very cool game coming, MMORPG on Web 2. from Scandinavia, but they're pushing for 8K graphics, 4K graphics, a difficult to gain amount of players with a huge dependency on your machine,
Very
right?
restrictive.
Or your, yeah. So we done it, and then we created for players this whole system. I don't know if you've seen it, Ben, that you can drag down all the details in the game to basic, and that will let you play it on i5 computer that it's like $300 right now, or $399. So players have that option to play without the grass, without shadows. We let you remove it because you just in disadvantage because you have a smaller computer for now, right? But that's going to change. Computers became cheaper. So I don't know if you guys seen, we have screenshots from Unreal 5 of our game. There's somewhere there in the Discord. I just posted like 1 or 2, and people cannot believe how the new system creates even prettier worlds, right? Unreal 5 is going to let us have a better system of animations. So your characters are going to move, jump, and climb better. We're going to bring climbing, so you're going to be able to climb certain walls with certain characters, because there is no way a heavy knight can climb walls. I'm not doing that. That's not happening. Your gear is 400 pounds, guys. It's not happening. So Inquisitor, maybe Druid, we're going to find certain characters that we let them climb, but not everybody. So, and I've noticed one more thing. In World of Warcraft, and I just cut it out too because I don't want it to go after me, and I'm going to be poor the next week. I've noticed certain characters, like archers, would not be popular if the archer will not have a companion. So we're gonna do this kind of the same way. So elves will have an assigned companion. So when you go for elven archers, because they have this disadvantage in the close combat, we will promote them with a really cool companion that I'm thinking of right now, working on. So you will get it with companion already as a puppy, and then you grow that companion to whatever it is. So you have the support in a close combat. I've seen other games did it, and people just loved it because archers are quite a bit of disadvantage. I've noticed people like to be close in the combat or support. So I'm watching, I'm adding this stuff, and I'm gonna then. That's why I would like to do the subscription base. I don't know if I told you that, guys. We do the subscription, right? Because I would like to keep this game alive with maybe 40, 50 players between alpha and beta, and throw things on them, right? And get the opinion from 50 people and say, well, maybe not White Wolf, Marius, maybe this, maybe that. So so one of my elves, nobody knows about it, but you can put that in. So we are bringing, we have 3 different druids, right? So I want to talk about two about them for now. So we have the forest druid and we have the water druid. Everybody now knows the water druid is on an advantage because can fly the water dragon, right, in general. And water druid also can breathe underwater. When most of the characters that go underwater, they can breathe for 30 seconds, they will die. Water druid is going to be able to breathe for quite a bit. She's going to be able to merge with the dragon breathing, right? So she's going to be able to breathe. But now we have disadvantage to our forest druid. So the forest druid can still tame dragons, but she cannot fly them, right? They don't understand her. But forest druid can tame a very dangerous large forest animals or trees. So the forest druid is going to be the only one character in the game that can have 2 companions, and that will balance it out. So now she will have, you name it, 2 werewolves because she could tame them, or she will have 2 giant bears, right? And she can send them to action before she moves in, or she can tell them, hey, you attack and I heal you from the back. I need to balance it because not every character can fly dragons. So that's the stuff I want to tell the players, that I will try to balance as much as possible.
Would she be able to fly an eagle?
Eagle belongs to Morgan Le Fay storyline. So Morgan Le Fay, like in all the books, she gives you shapeshifting. So if you finish all her storylines, she will allow you to shapeshift into the eagle, or she will give you eagle as the actual mount, right?
I want to shapeshift. I want to shapeshift.
Yeah, that's Morgan Le Fay was doing that. She's the most known witch, I guess, let's call it like this, in Arthurian legends. So I'm bringing her story. It's going to be difficult, right? But once you get it, you're going to be one of these cool players that you're going to morph and you're going to fly away, and everybody's going to be standing there crying. So that's just I'm bringing like everybody gets something. We're working on Pegasus. You guys seen Pegasus? They were already in the game flying around. So we're working on a storyline for that. We will bring as much as we can. and we may pull some things out of the game which we will not think they're good. We're still on the defense with vampires right now. There's a lot of pushback in my team that say maybe vampires are not a bad idea, not a good idea right now in this game. So we're working on that. But so there's a lot of stuff. I'm not trying to bring everything to one game because it's crazy, and it has to mix very well. So we will see how that's going to work. But I can tell you, I have a writer that's writing a werewolf storyline, and as you know, lycans can shapeshift from human. So there is a person in the King Arthur table that it's a lycan, and we don't know who that's going to be. Ooh. So that one knight can shapeshift and he can rule actual werewolves. So it's a lot of story that we're trying to merge so the actual different creatures we're bringing make sense. It's never ending. For now, you guys seen we have boats. You can jump in on the boats. You can cruise with your team to different islands. It's very basic for now. You can't steer them. They just have a big buff Arnold there that moves.
You can fish off of them.
You can fish. We have different types of fish. You can cook them in a hunting ground. So you're going to have mythical fishes that you can catch and legendary ones. And you can make amazing meals from them. So we're preparing that. You've seen more cheese. I didn't overwhelm the players with UI. I made a basic UI, but functional. There's not too many things in the UI. And I'm not going to expand it much more. I want to focus on the gaming and not the whole UI block in your screen. You've seen crafting. Crafting usually takes 4 to 5 items if it's complicated. It's not going to never take 17 items. I'm never going to make that like this. So I'm trying to narrow the UI so it's not annoying for us. We have busy lives. We don't want to spend 20 minutes crafting one item. So it's usually 10, 15 seconds and your item is ready. And that's how we done it. That's it, guys. I mean, I give you all these stories. It's been a long time. I don't want to bore you to death.
No, but, this is great.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
I think you should jump in and now see if the dragons are crashing or what's happening there. I don't even know. The players are excited. We think quite a bit of gold passes. We're going to buy silver pass and stay with us, or emerald for the next month. And then we're going to do a couple meetings with players. Every guild separate. I want to do AMA. Even with a bunch of people from guild can come on a Discord and talk to me. I'm going to just explain because we're shutting down. Right? We're shutting down from April, and nothing is going to happen till December. That we're going to show. I hope it's going to be December. I hope it's not going to be next April. We will try to bring something for Christmas to ruin your Christmas again. But so this is kind of where we are. We're going to push now. My main goal, guys, is just this kind of, it's official, that we're going to push now for promotion of the project. So now we're going to talk more. We're going to show our faces more. We're going to do banners on different websites. We're going to see what works very cautiously, obviously, without throwing money on anybody. We're partnering up with one of the big Twitch promoter companies that chooses the right streamers for us. And we will be seeing how they perform, how many people comes, what's happening. And it's a rough time for games. I think that specifically that costs more than $29 currently, right? So we're trying to be very, very cautious who we're bringing in. And that's it. I mean, it was amazing to see you after freaking what? How many months? 6 months? 7 months?
Yeah.
We should do another one, I think, after the alpha closes, like just somewhere in May, to kind of summarize what happened, how many players were playing.
Hell yeah.
We have 3 villages. We have over 90 homes deployed. The people that own the temples, they know they're going to get 24 homes each in a span of 2 years. So they will deploy larger villages. So now, if you own a temple, it drops you NFT every month with your new home. It's a random home. And you can sell it on the marketplace. You can tell us where to put it in a village. So they're going to be expanding the villages. We agreed with community that we're leaving the island as a Genesis island. So it's currently been dropped to Unreal 5 and it will always stay in the game. So if everybody is good and the game exists in the next 10 years, you can always fly on whatever you have into Genesis Island and then show your friends, hey, when we started
nostalgic.
Back in that was the first home I had right here.
I love it.
So I think it's important because I think you guys have your places that you're nostalgic about in the real life. And if there exists, you bring friends or kids or family and say, hey, that was my first this, that was my first that. I have that.
My first wheel of cheese.
Yeah, whatever that we actually put cheese in your home.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Yeah, I've noticed there is a cheese and wine here.
Don't put that anywhere else. Only I get the cheese. Others can get wine. They can get the wine, but no cheese.
So also more cheese. Look, you've been gamer all your life. Pretty good at what you do. I can see. I'm watching you when I have time sometimes. But you can come up because I'm asking that to certain players. And I want to also say kudos to Jordine. I think that's her name. She created the SD PDF that explains the whole SD guild, how it's formed and how it's created. She created multiple pages of that. She's from Scandinavia. So some players are wanted to create things. So more cheese, maybe you can think on an item that's created from cheese, or it's a specific cheese. We're going to have specific items to create it. Just bring it up. We're going to put it in a game. And that's going to be always...
Jordy is really awesome. Like, actually...
Jordy, yeah.
They put out a newsletter, and they... Dak was like, I'm the one that put, like, how we became. And I gave her that information, and she...
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I read it, and it was a really good job. So I say thank you so much. Plus, she's bringing some Scandinavian one quest, let's call it. So one Scandinavian legend from her region, we're going to put it into the game. Nice. And that's another player that has bringing something from their own world and their own mythical world into the game. And then, like I say, you can create one. Maybe just an item because it's related to you, or maybe it's something historically accurate in these times that you would like to bring it. I'm all open to that. Because you know, guys, we're gonna have hundreds of quests, if not going into over 1,000. We don't mind the first initial creator, players, supporters to have something of their own in the actual game. Like somebody has the Attila Harbor already, somebody has the name of the bear. We're very like cooperative with players that are engaged, helping us and spreading the good word. And we're like, oh, you play games for 100 years, but did you ever put something? So now it's your chance, like come up with this idea. I give it the actor, we put it in, we'll see how good is it. We spice it up and bring it into the game.
Nice. I love it.
So another thing I'm releasing, and this is the very last thing, I'm sorry guys, talking too much, but I'm releasing the new form. I'm releasing a form for players where I'm going to ask them, the players that currently played, I have 3 favorite things about Avalon, 3 not good things in Avalon that you would like to see removed, and then 3 things you loved in the previous MMORPGs you play all your life and why, and then 3 that you hated and why. And I'm going to put all that knowledge, and I'm going to put all that knowledge together, and I'm going to see how we can make it more shiny based on hundreds of players' knowledge versus only us and saying we exactly know what we want. Like we do, but you play it, so you can't really create it, but you can help us to say like, hey, well, if you're going to go this route, 90% of us play that already, and it's just not a good route. So we will always listen to players, and I can tell you, man, I've listened before I created Alpha to a lot of players before I started creating the Alpha, and it's been successful. Humbly, it's been successful because I listened. So I didn't just put my own thing there and just, I let you play it. I removed a lot of stuff that people told me, no, that would be a bad idea. So it worked out, and I know Morchis doesn't run a lot because she plays 72 games a day, but I see you from time to time. Yeah, I see you from time to time.
And I'm always open, like if you ever want to pick my brain, like I'm always open for discussions with you, come into MVE or just come into Sanguis Drunconus and or just send me a DM, and like I'm always down to just like idea chat with you.
We need player opinions, and we need people ideas, and I think people have busy lives, but it takes 10 minutes out of your life, and if you think that over all your years of experience spending in the front of the screen, something was actually freaking good, right? You bring it up to us and you say, that was really good. If we can put a spin on it, think about that. And then we have this whole credit space that's going to be scrolling before the game starts and after, crediting the players that really help in the creation. So, so a lot of people is getting it. And
Adamus, he is amazing.
Adamus is pretty good. He spends whole life in the game. Yeah, and
so good.
Chiefy too, Azerox, Hederian. There's a lot of hardcore players. Zeberford, there's tons of them. Zoom with 7 accounts. Hederian has 8 accounts. So people are there. But additional thing that I want to bring, and you guys already heard that, I will put people eyes on what you do. So if you own a certain business or home or anything, there is going to be a place there for people to click, and that will get them to your links.
That would be amazing.
So basically, so like I was telling just that when he was here, like I will redirect you to your guild. But if you do something verify and we see what that is and it matches with what we do, right? We don't mind redirecting hundreds of players that go through your property and see what the property is to click in. And on the bottom of that description, there is going to be a More Cheese channel or More Cheese Discord channel, whatever that is, right?
I love it.
Cool, yeah.
We have to do it because there's a tons of eyes and people like want to see who they play with, right? In a way. So I don't think it's a problem as long as it's going to be within the guidelines, right? We're going
to vetted and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and vetted, and you cannot change it. We submit the link, not you. So you cannot just click to your home and submit, Angela's link and then BMW store in a week later. So we will submit it. I think it will help. I can tell you, just meals receive on the good days, probably meals now receive about 700, 800 visits per meal a day.
Yeah.
Right. Players coming and going, and they will be in the front of your link, and maybe they decide to join the guild or join the project that you do, or I don't care, visit your store. It's not a big deal.
I love it.
I'm working on it, but I have to make it pretty so it's not weird, not like looks like a kid glue it somewhere there.
Distracting, it has to fit within the look and the feel, and
But you can promote what you do, specifically if the guild is like an Upland related guild, like you're wearing Upland shirt there, right? You're promoting that I'm a part of this guild and I hold my stronghold here. SD is pretty strongly related to Upland. When your town, well, for now it's a temple, but Chiefy at some point is going to be updating it, and the city is going to go up. There is going to be a scroll on the wall that will just list the members and everything. It's very easy for us to add these things. Like it's owned by this group. These are the members. These are the websites, how you can contact them. Right now, I'm noticing people have a hard time to find guilds. There's new guilds. Like you said, this new guild just came in, 70 people. They're interested to join. They're trying to see what we do. Just introducing people in-game to your projects and what you do, right, as a group. It's a small game right now, but I don't think it's going to be small forever.
No.
If we decide to open the level for the free play, couldn't keep up with the servers.
Yeah.
If we just remove NFTs and let people play, there's going to be tens of thousands of people that are going to pour in just to see what this is about. I think what's their name? Star Atlas got 40,000 players registered on Epic to start playing, right? And the space games are second popular after fantasy games. So I think when we register, I would like to see what kind of registration of people we're going to get that want to try the game to play. I'll humbly say it's going to be more, but we will see. And I think at some point, guys, you're starting with us early, but you can see a traffic very, very high in the future in a version of this game, which is going to be Xbox One streamable. Your guild is still going to be there, right? Your guild doesn't go anywhere. Your village is going to be also in the Xbox version because we have tons of villages. But these eyes are going to be on you, and then how you use it to whatever you do, we're obviously going to verify, but you're going to be able to get a lot of traffic. And that's something that I said in a very early, Angela, if you read my light paper, it says stakeable chests, sponsorships, anything for everybody that wants to promote something that is within a reason for the players. And I spoke to chief designer for this one chain. I cannot say who because I shouldn't. But the first reply, and it's a big person that did game stuff for his whole life. Now he's like a chief designer for one of the game chains here that we're working with. The first thing he says, players are going to hate any advertising. And I'm like, depending how it's dished out to them. Because when they waiting on the server 15 seconds, which this is the standard of industry, and they go in to get, restroom or coffee or whatever they need to do, or they're staring on the screen, they can now stare on Upland. And they can screenshot your QR code. They still staring on a loading screen.
Exactly.
And this is what I'm not trying to you play the game and there's advertising come up on you. I'm trying to use the loading screens only when you're merging not invasive, not annoying. You see it already in the game, Angela. Every time you log in, you see our sponsors on the bottom. You see Bounty Block, you see Wax, you see Polygon, right? It's not invasive. Nobody borders. Yeah. So, but when we get a lot of players, Ben, it's going to be valuable.
Yes.
So
no. I think all of those sorts of personalization touches gives players more ownership of their characters and everything like that. So no, I think it's a really smart tactic, and love what you're doing from as I said, from an outside non-gamer perspective, and most importantly of all, as I also said, we just really appreciate your time today, and thank you for jumping in. How can people best keep up with events? Is it through the Discord, or is it your Twitter, or what's the best way?
I would say Twitter will be the number one, and there is a link in the top of the Twitter that gives you all the link tree to probably 12 links with the game. We're the most active.
Yep.
We're the most active in Twitter. When something major happens, it's always on the Twitter, and then we from there lead you to major articles in Medium. And our Discord obviously is where you can get feedback from players directly. So these are the two places. We don't have a Telegram. I'm not planning on Telegram right now. I don't think Telegram is policed enough.
It's the Wild West, the old Telegram.
In order to have it, so we're gonna stay in Discord to protect the players in general.
Yep.
And also, please, guys, warning for everybody: we didn't have any issues, but do not buy something from somewhere unless it's verified. Somebody in Discord, make sure if we post any sales or drops and anything, it's always on our official Twitter. And then even if that go to Discord, make sure it's there, or jumping into the game and talk to the players if it's real. We didn't have any issues, but with time, issues will arise, like in every project. So just try to be safe, and that's why I ask everybody also to create additional wallet for all the items from Avalon. To don't have the same wallet that you use for other of the crypto. Have a separate wallet, use it with Avalon, be 100% safe, as things happen to every single game in the blockchain that I've seen. And we're trying to just be cautious. We don't have any issues, but we say if we will do, then whatever is
possible. Yeah, anything's
possible.
Everything is possible.
And a good way to wrap this up, I would like you to post something on your Twitter, and for the challenge, I'm going to have people follow you, retweet that, and tag me in there. And when they do that, they will get the NFT, which I already have in my head, which will be your face this time. Ben and I will be behind you fighting as the Templar and the so this time it's gonna be pretty. Yeah, you're gonna be like,
I gotta be like, wait, hold on, like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at smile.
Cool.
Yes. But get to this guy's Twitter. We're gonna have it in the YouTube description. We're gonna have the Discord. We're gonna have the Twitter. Go on to Twitter, retweet the top tweet that Marius puts out, follow, and tag more cheese, and you will get this epic NFT. And now on to the spillage. Not spillage.
Yeah, spillage.
Yeah, spillage.
The spillage. That's what we call it. Let me just type that down. Thank you. All right, yes, we got a whole bunch of stuff to cover now. We are running super duper long, so we will try and blitz through it as fast as possible. This first one is a good segue kind of from what we were just talking about. And that is that Square Enix president is on the way out. So there's going to be a change of leadership here, and apparently fans are hoping that NFTs are on the way out with him. What do you make of that, cheese?
What? Why?
Well, there's the whole the gamers hate NFTs thing. So it says here, Square Enix is planning to change its president. Yosuke, old mate, will step down from the company and will be replaced by Takashi. Square Enix announced this morning the transition will take effect when it's approved. Yada, 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 shareholders meeting. But yes, a lot of people are thinking good riddance to the whole NFT thing. Like, this guy was apparently pushing that whole angle. So,
oh, they're going to miss him when he's gone.
How strange. Yes. How strange. So
but it's like the Cup song. You're going to miss me when I'm gone. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. So it says here that the former president was very heavily into AI, blockchain, and all that sort of stuff. And gamers were not pleased with the direction he was taking the company, and now it seems that Square Enix isn't either. So,
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
More drama to come from that.
From their
All right.
baby.
Did you want to touch on some Upland stuff? Like we did have the.
Look at all those chicken nuggets. Oh my god. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
You're saying that while you're eating, and I'm sitting here. It's almost 8 o'clock my time, and I haven't had breakfast. So
I'm eating
you're
pumpkin
evil.
seeds. They're just small.
You're evil. So we did have the Sao Paulo release the other day, and there was a whole kerfuffle with the collection reveal. I don't know. I didn't wake up for that.
Yeah.
Did you want to go into that?
I didn't wake up for it today, but there was no complaints. Yesterday they messed up. I'm not gonna lie. They messed up big. But I mean, come on, like I don't know what to say. Like,
what exactly happened? That they were ultra rares were revealed before it was officially supposed to be revealed, and then I'm assuming some people said thank you very much for the rabbits, went over, gobbled them all up.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened today, so I don't know if those were still ultra rares today.
Yeah. I did see. I pulled it up. I was lucky enough I had 3 in one of the purple collections.
Mm-hmm.
The neighborhood that starts with an L or something like that. I'd minted
Libertad?
3.
Libertad.
Libertad.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Libertad.
Yes.
Sorry.
Pardon me.
Christ.
But yeah, I had minted 3, and what do you know? The collection is you need 4. So I picked up one on the secondary market just to fill out the collection for 12,000K, which was still pretty reasonable. So there are still some there to grab.
So they didn't put out the ultra rares yet.
Well, there was definitely the yellow card was there. The ultra rare card was there when I looked at the collections, as I didn't really dive into it because we were getting ready to kick off the show. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, apparently it was a massive kerfuffle. Yeah, I mean, what do you say?
What do you say? I mean, things happen. I know it was a big thing, but at the end of the day, I'm still Upland strong. Things happen. I had to kind of like put out a few fires in general. People used it as kind of like an entrance to start a lot of trouble. And you know those people who wait for bad stuff and just kind of dive in.
I mean, they use like this error and then they pile on all of the other errors as a continuation. I mean, I guess there's some fairness in that. Like if you're continually making errors, perhaps there's some underlying foundational problems that need to be addressed. But yeah, you got to try and take each kerfuffle on its own kind of for its own merit.
I agree.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. But yes, the other big news, of course, that came through was the OnePiece Labs partnership. We touched on this in the UDU podcast briefly, but there wasn't a lot of details around at the time. There's since been a secondary article come out. So this one, OnePiece Labs Upland confirmed Metaverse ambitions with incubation program. So this goes into a little bit more details. I guess we're just going to touch on not the whole thing because, as I said, we're running along. So the main thesis of this partnership is an incubation program that is scheduled for March 7th to bolster talented startup teams, providing mentorship resources and support to help them build, launch, and scale their products. The program consists of networking with an amazing community, expert training from professionals, and access to the OnePiece team, offering a slew of benefits for the selected firms. So Mesme kind of outlined this a little bit more for us, where it seems to be like if you have some good ideas, but you don't necessarily have the background knowledge or the talent or the resources to flesh those out, well, this is kind of a platform. So it always goes back to your point where if you have an idea, find some people, do some networking that can help build your vision. I see so many times, and it happened a lot in the game development space too, is people are so protective of their ideas and they put all of these walls and roadblocks around their ideas that nothing ever gets done. you
Yeah.
have to take risks. You have to network. You have to get people on board. Of course, there's going to be drama. Of course, there's going to be, you know, dirt bags associated with that. But if you don't take risks, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So hopefully this kind of more official system will, you know, take care of at least some of those concerns and risks. So if you have an idea, don't just sit on there, because as I always say, ideas aren't worth a goddamn thing unless you're going to put in some effort to actually see them through.
Yeah. Find your Ben, find your DTech, find your cheese.
Yeah, find your people, find your crew. Or if you want to go down the route, go the official route, you know, perhaps pursue that One Lab partnership or OnePiece Labs partnership a bit further. All right, now we did kind of speak to this when we were not recording, so we will touch on this a little bit as well. We had a bit of a break there in between the interview and kicking off for the spiel.
No, I didn't know this.
Yeah, so this is something that's been brewing for ages. I forget when I first heard about Bitcoin. It was when I was first in Japan, and that was, you know, not long after Bitcoin was first created. And there was a game developer, an Australian guy that I was associated with, who was in Mt. Gox. He was always putting like things together about Bitcoin, and I read the white paper very early on, but it was a very clunky process to sign up. And like I said, I was in Japan, so finances in Japan are tricky to balance. So I never pursued it myself, but if I had I'm probably one of these people that would have got caught up in the whole Mt. Gox, you know, the blow up that happened.
Wow.
These people, the people that they were in a very unfortunate situation where they've lost all their coins and all of that. But there's a silver lining to every story. They've essentially been forced into a long-term hodl, and now all of it's a percentage of the tokens that they have been force hodled for them, and because guaranteed, you know, you're talking 99.9% of people would have sold out long ago, and yet here we are. Bitcoin's now worth, I think it's 25K or something like that, and they're going to be getting a shitload of Bitcoin. Now the concern is that everybody's just going to go, yippee, here's $800,000 that I didn't know I have, and they're just going to crash the market. Those people, I wonder how that's going to work with taxation. Like,
oh yeah,
is the I wonder if the tax department is going to view like they have held this Bitcoin for 10 years or whatever
they
it is,
have
or
to.
is it when they've just now received it, you're going to have to hold it for another 12 months? It's
I don't know.
Very tricky.
The fact that it was theirs, but they had to sit on it for 10 years. That should count for something.
Yeah, don't quote me on the 10 years, but yeah, it was a very long time. So yes. So market strategists, they're not expecting that 142,000 Bitcoin suddenly becoming available is not going to crash the market. I can't see how it's not.
Yeah.
I cannot possibly see how it isn't going to have an impact. Is it going to be a significant impact? I can't see how it won't. Yes.
Does it mention like taxes in here? It might.
Now, yeah, keep in mind too, I've only just pulled that up myself, so I'm not sure. So the value of that 142,000 Bitcoin that's going to be free is greater than $3.36 billion.
Wow.
The market cap is still over 1 trillion. So I don't know. I just, how can it not have an impact?
Yeah.
I mean, if that was me, I would be, if that was me and the tax, if that concern was out of the picture, I would be selling at least 50% of whatever I got immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's just basically, that's buy a house money, like for what they're dishing out to people. So yeah,
I would sell half and then buy back at the lower prices when it
crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, like if the Bitcoin price does take whether it's a flash crash or it triggers another kind of, you know, another bear market for a while, all of the shitcoins are going to follow suit. But then you're going to have people who They sell their Bitcoin, like you've just said, they're going to sell their Bitcoin, it's going to crash them up, and then they're going to gobble up all the shitcoins. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
And then you have like the market makers who have automatic buys when it gets to certain points.
Yep.
They're the ones that create the actual value of everything. So
yeah. Do you agree with the USB strategist's prediction that the upcoming Mt. Gox payouts could have a minimal effect on Bitcoin's worth? No, I don't agree. I think it's going to have a huge impact.
We'll see.
We'll have to wait and see. It'll be something that we follow closely on the UDU podcast through that kind of avenue. But yeah, big news, big news. All right, now speaking of kind of big news, back to my old mate Cucko the Zucko. Senators have told Mark Zuckerberg to keep the metaverse an adults-only space. Is that even possible?
Mm-mm.
I can't see how it is. Obviously, there has been a history of, concerns about, the sexualization and the child exploitation and all that sort of stuff that could potentially go on, but that's the internet in general. It's a bit like trying to say, the internet is only available to adults. Well, it's just not going to work, is it? Especially when large sections of the metaverse are setting up to be, educational or, that sort of stuff. So very strange. You're going to have an 18 plus on Roblox, are you? It's just not going to fly.
No, it's not.
So editor's take, does Mark Zuckerberg regret his decision to go all in on the metaverse? In addition to the billions of dollars it's already cost the company and the general apathy from the public, the rise of AI has put a shadow over virtual augmented reality universes. Has it? I think it's going to be a companion. It's all part of the same wave.
Yeah.
I can't look. We're using AI now a lot as part of our existing metaverse kind of enterprises. So, yeah, that's a weird one. Now that the metaverse is facing more problems in the form of 2 Democratic senators who want to stop Meta from introducing teens to its Horizon Worlds VR app.
Well, I mean, all right, I could see this as a kind of like they're not gonna have them stop being in the metaverse. They're gonna stop them from being in metaverses that are geared for adults.
But they can't, like they're saying they want to stop. You can't stop. Like they could put a check mark on there. Are you over 18 years old? But kids are going to check that. I mean, they do that now with, there's certain things you have to sign up to where you got to put your birth date in. If they put their real birth date in, it's going to say, sorry, you're not old enough to use this service or whatever. But if they just put in some random made up one,
I'm sure it'll be KYC'd. It'll have to be. And that'll prevent a lot
roadblock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge roadblock. Imagine KYC on Facebook, or you have to be KYC to use Twitter. That's
no, just for metaverses that like blockchain applications. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird, but this point here is very strange to me. I feel AI will heavily complement the metaverse. Like imagine being able to go into, spatial or somewhere like that, and you spoke about this too, didn't you? Where you're having, that chat, whatever it is, that chat AI robot. Well, that's part of the NPC characters you're interacting with. Instead of just a brain dead NPC character, well, it's an AI with its own, unique personality or whatever. So. Now, that's a very weird take on things, I think. But I think senators might have a nice idea that that's what they want to do, but I highly doubt they're going to be able to do it. Or even have the tools to be able to do it.
That was the editor's take on it. So the editor could just be kind of like ignorant for the whole thing.
There's no shortage of that around, that's for sure. Yes. All right. Now, there's a couple of other ones here. Let me just make sure I'm in the right spot before I click over. Oh, yes. Now, if you don't know, Cheese, the Formula One season is just kicking off right now. Free Practice 1 and Free Practice 2 has been just run. I watched those videos before we got kicked off here. We have seen in the past that there's multiple Formula One teams now. Just about all of them have some kind of crypto NFT sponsorship associated with them. One of the most famous ones, of course, is the Mercedes Formula One team, who was sponsored by FTX, and we covered some of the NFT drops that they were doing there. Of course, NFT crashed and burned, yada, 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 but that hasn't dissuaded Formula One teams to continue to pursue that line of sponsorship. And why would they? Because, you know, that's a crap load of money that's coming their way. Now, one of the big ones that's happened is the McLaren Formula One team has teamed up with the Tezos blockchain for a series of NFTs tied to Formula One. So during each race of the season, McLaren fans will be able to mint one of the NFTs, beginning with this weekend's competition in Bahrain. Those who collect them all will be eligible for one of 3 awards, including a 2024 race weekend experience. So there's a real life kind of reward there. And there's also a chance to have a virtual meeting with the McLaren CEO, Zach Brown.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. So what does that actually look like? Well, I went over and checked it out. Yeah, I was reading off a different thing there. So I went over and checked their actual website, and it's looking pretty slicko-micko.
Slicko-micko.
So yes, this is the
wow,
official,
that's beautiful.
This is the official collectibles, McLaren, collectibles.mclaren.com. So yeah, so there's a whole bunch of information here on how to get started. So you have to create a Tezos wallet. And now I'm going to do this myself at some stage. You can claim a collectible for every race. Don't quote me on it, but it seems like this is just an engagement level thing. I'm not sure that there is payments associated with it. I found this just before.
Small little Ben Freeze gonna sing a song until he unfreezes. Do 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 do. Ben froze.
I expect this to be. Oh, sorry.
No, you froze. So I was singing a song. It was like 7 seconds long.
Yeah, my computer's saying, "Hey, what are you doing, dude? We're not supposed to be doing 3-hour shows." Yes. So. Yeah, I expect more and more of this to become available. You know, we're seeing, you know, football sporting teams, soccer, American football, you know, Formula One. I think this is just going to expand, and become just part of the everyday experience that you do. If you're a fan of whatever, where you're going to collect your NFTs, yeah, it's just going to happen. It's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is.
Yep. So that was one of the ones that I found. Another one.
I can't believe you said my little pumpkin seeds were enough.
What?
It's my pumpkin seed.
All right. I'm just jealous because I've got nothing to eat. I could eat a towel that's in close proximity, or I could look. It's some toilet paper.
Anybody got a towel?
Yes. So another one here is, I don't know if you saw this one. Taco Bell has married its first couple in the Metaverse, Cheese. The restaurant chain opened a competition last year for couples willing to participate in a wedding in Decentraland, and they selected one couple from San Francisco.
I'm sorry, but that sounds extremely redneck to me.
Well, maybe,
like,
yeah.
Ghetto redneck. Like having a wedding in McDonald's or... Well, I gotta see this.
We'll bring it up now. So, couple marries in Taco Bell Metaverse ceremony. Fun, romantic, and more than a little weird. So, I don't know. They don't look rednecky to me.
Hipster?
Hipster, maybe. There you go. Okay. So, yes, on February 24th, the famed fast food restaurant hosted a unique and legally binding wedding ceremony in the, what did I say? Decentraland Metaverse. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, the private nuptials took place in Decentraland, and yeah.
Yeah, they definitely look hipster. Oh my God, look at them with their tacos.
The pair never planned on having their wedding in the Metaverse, but after Taco Bell announced the competition offering couples the chance to win the unusual ceremony, they decided to enter. Here's a few quotes from the bride and groom. I'm a big Taco Bell fan, and I think people on Twitter had noticed that I'd posted about Taco Bell. And so when they announced the competition, a lot of people tagged me. They're like, hey, you got to go do this. You got to do this, he recalls. So we were on a road trip and I was like, hey, babe, there's this thing. It'd be fun to apply. You just got to submit a 2-minute video. And she was a really good sport, he says, of his bride. Adding, we went to a Taco Bell and I think we recorded it in 2 takes. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
and it
cool.
has a shot of them. Within Decentraland. That looks cool. I don't know, that's cool. That's kind of cool. A couple of people sitting there in Decentraland doing that. They got a fancy dress. It's cool. So, like, I think we mentioned, I don't know if it was on the YouTube podcast or the Wine and Cheese show. So you could literally be sitting on your couch in your underpants eating your Cheetos, but in the metaverse, you're looking all fancy and spiffy and
this is true.
blinged out.
A lot of people don't know this fun fact about me, but I record the Wine and Cheese like Homer Simpson in my. We'll just leave it at that. It's not easy to sit down.
The mind boggles.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, yes. Technically, I am still in my pajamas as well because I get out of bed straight for this show. So.
Yo.
All right, and we got one more to cover, Cheese. Now, I think you in particular are going to love this one. So let me just run a bit of background spielage. So, rapper and metaverse enthusiast Snoop Dogg has teamed up with tech entrepreneur Sam Jones to launch Shilla, a Web3 live broadcast platform. Wow. The app lets creators token gate video and audio, sell e-commerce products, and promote their own NFTs, while fans can tip and give gifts to their favorite creators. The app is set for a release in April. Now, I'll bring that up.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
This is the Shilla website. What do you think of the name? That's pretty cool.
I love it. I love because it's chill. It's chill, but it's like a new take on it. Shilla.
And it's like thriller, Shilla. No, it's very cool. So I can't see the top to navigate, but yeah, it's shilla.io. So yeah, we connect tribes through video and audio broadcasts. They help to set up broadcasts, feature merchant NFTs, share, go live, etc., etc. And then there's a bunch of information there for creators and artists. So I think this is kind of taking the spatial, some aspects of spatial, but making a more official thing. So imagine you're an artist or something like that, and you want to do some kind of tour, or you're like a musical artist and you want to do a tour, or you're like a visual artist and you want to like do a gallery display or something. So, this is something we should definitely keep our eyes on, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, whether you're an individual or a project, we are delighted to welcome you onto the Shilla platform. Click the button below to complete a short application flow so we can get things moving for you. So, yeah, no, that looks really cool. Now, just to wrap on too, I don't know if you saw, it's kind of a bit related but not loosely related. Have you seen that there's some kind of app where, say you're out at Genesis Week, right? You're at Genesis Week and you want to do a live stream. So, there's a few different ways that you can do that. And on the live stream, it usually shows how many viewers are watching. 12 people are watching, 22 people are watching. Well, there's now a fake app. So you can live stream or record and it shows like, I believe you can patch whatever number you want in there, like 123,000 people are viewing. And there's been all of these TikToks, I think it is, where like a guy will be at some kind of resort, like a kind of mildly attractive guy, he's walking around saying, hey, I'm on a live stream, and these kind of dudes and women, they'll say, what are you doing? Get out of my face. And then they see that 127 people watching, and the change in their demeanor, you literally see their whole body language change. Wow. And they're like, hey, and these people, again, I don't know the full backstory, whether the whole thing is a troll scam or whatever, but then these people that are doing this, they're getting invited to these VIP tours and they're getting all this backstage access. Like,
wow. Yeah, but then when they find you out, isn't that like fraud? Can't they kind of like sue you for
I don't know, but I guess it points to that whole AI thing now where deep fakes. Have you seen the quality of the deep fakes now? It's just insane.
Yeah, a lot of female podcasters are actually getting sexually harassed in that way. They're putting them in porno movies.
Yep.
And it's freaking scary.
Yeah, I mean, what are we? This is episode 74. There is, obviously we're not at that extreme where people would go to the trouble to do it, but there are certain big podcasters where people are using these deep fakes and the chat GPT AI systems to create whole fake shows where the whole thing's fake, but you cannot distinguish it.
Wow.
So, it's you want to talk about the greasy aspects of where this is all going. We like to focus on the cool stuff, but there's also a hell of a lot of grease. So
yeah, there's a lot of grease out there. Oh my God.
It's going to be tricky to what is reality, what's fake. It's very, very weird. But then there's ways that we could play with that. You could play with that in a positive way as well. There's always two sides to things. So. It's a very, very interesting time to be active in the space. I think if we fast forward a year, it's going to be insane. Fast forward, when we're in our 50s, it's going to be completely mental. I don't think we can even. We try, but I don't think we can even begin to imagine where this is all headed.
As long as we're still doing our thing, that would be so cool.
Yes, replaced by robots. We can sit on the couch eating Cheetos, and our robot avatars are taking over the show.
I love that, actually.
Yes. All right. Well, if you've stuck for us for this long, congratulations to you. You deserve a prize. I think it's almost pushing 3 hours. Holy crap. Some of that was cut out. As I said, we took a bit of a break between the interview section and when we kicked off for the spiel. So, nevertheless, well done for you. Hopefully, you listened at 2x speed. On that note, cheese.
Stay fresh, these cheesy bags.
Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Eagle Empire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get off the drive. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. Eagle Empire, samurai, riding on the dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife. Flying through the sky, Eagle Empire, samurai, riding on a dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get off the drive. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. Eagle Empire, samurai, riding on a dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife, flying through the sky. Time for wine and cheese. Wine and cheese. Time for wine and cheese. Wine and cheese. Wine and cheese. Wine and cheese. Time for wine and cheese. Wine and cheese. Time for wine and cheese.
Are you looking for some of that quality outdoor decor? But you got no freaking idea where to go? Oh, come on over to Samurai Aquatics and Decor for all your outdoor decor needs. Got yourself an empty plot of boring virtual real estate in the metaverse, do you? Yeah, just delete that. I'm still not ready, sorry. Got yourself an empty plot of boring virtual real estate in the metaverse, do you? Or maybe some kind of crappy ramshackle building that, I don't know, needs a bit of extra spunk to it or something. And stop mucking about and get yourself over to Samurai Aquatics Discord to see all our available stock. We've got loads of different decor to spend your pretend money on. We got saunas to fire you up, and ice baths to chew you the fudge out. Literally, stock coming out of our ears. Grills, swings, seating, and more. So much more. And if we don't got it, give us a buzz, and we could probably make it. Get yourself on over to Samurai Aquatics at 30 Aqua Vista Way in Midtown Terrace, San Francisco, lickety split, and gorge yourself on outdoor decor.